Are you serious right now? Naomi just returned to WWE SmackDown after taking time away for her pregnancy, and instead of getting the hero's welcome she absolutely deserves after everything she's been through and everything she's accomplished in her career, she comes back to a women's division that's been completely transformed in her absence, with Jade Cargill now sitting on top as the WWE Women's Champion after beating Tiffany Stratton. And Naomi's response? She sent the most brutal, unfiltered, and absolutely savage message to Jade Cargill that has everyone talking, and if you're not fired up about what this means for the future of the women's division on SmackDown, then you need to understand that we're about to witness a collision between two of the most athletic, most talented, and most hungry women in all of professional wrestling, and somebody's career is about to reach new heights while someone else gets exposed. Let me break down exactly what happened because the context matters and the implications are massive. Naomi returned to SmackDown looking absolutely incredible. You can tell she's been training, she's been focused, and she's been hungry to get back in that ring. Motherhood clearly hasn't slowed her down one bit. If anything, she looks more motivated and more dangerous than ever before. She came out to a huge pop from the crowd because people love Naomi. They love her energy, they love her athleticism, they love everything she brings to the table. This woman has been a champion before. She's been in WrestleMania matches. She's proven herself time and time again. But while Naomi was away starting her family and focusing on that important chapter of her life, the WWE Women's Division kept moving. And the biggest change? Jade Cargill not only established herself on the main roster, but she captured the WWE Women's Championship by defeating Tiffany Stratton in what was apparently an impressive display of pure power and athleticism. Now, Jade Cargill holding that championship is a big deal. This is a woman who came from AEW with an undefeated streak, who looks like she was sculpted by the wrestling gods themselves, who has the size, the strength, and the presence that makes her stand out in any locker room. So Naomi returns to find that the championship she's always been chasing, the title that represents being the best woman on SmackDown, is now around the waist of someone who wasn't even in WWE when Naomi left. And that had to sting. That had to feel like a slap in the face. Naomi has been grinding in WWE for years, since her Funkadactyl days, through her time as a singles competitor, through her championship reigns, through her spectacular matches. She's earned her place in the WWE Women's Division hierarchy. And now this newcomer, this AEW import, is standing at the top of the mountain? You can understand why Naomi might have some feelings about that. The message Naomi sent to Jade Cargill was not subtle. It was not diplomatic. It was not the kind of respectful welcome to the top acknowledgement you might expect from a returning veteran to a new champion. No, Naomi came out swinging with her words, and she made it very clear that she doesn't see Jade Cargill as this unstoppable force that everyone else seems to see. Naomi called out Jade's inexperience. She questioned whether Jade has faced the level of competition that Naomi has faced throughout her career. She suggested that Jade's championship win was more about timing and opportunity than about actually being the best. And here's where it got really brutal. Naomi basically said that Jade Cargill has been protected since coming to WWE, that she's been given favorable matchups, that she's been booked to look dominant without actually having to prove herself against the true top tier of the women's division. Naomi pointed out that she's been in wars with Charlotte Flair, with Becky Lynch, with Bayley, with Sasha Banks, legends of women's wrestling. And what has Jade done? Beat Tiffany Stratton? That's Naomi's point, and it's a valid one that cuts right to the heart of whether Jade Cargill is truly ready to be the woman in WWE. The disrespect in Naomi's message was palpable, and it was intentional. She's not trying to be friends with Jade Cargill. She's not trying to build some mutual respect dynamic. She's trying to get under Jade's skin and make her prove that she deserves to be champion. Naomi essentially challenged everything about Jade's credibility, and she did it in front of the entire WWE universe. That takes guts, especially when you're coming back from time away and Jade is on this massive push that WWE is clearly invested in. But you know what? Naomi is right to question this, and that's what makes me so angry about how WWE has handled Jade Cargill since her arrival. Don't get me wrong, Jade is talented, she's marketable, she has the look that WWE loves. But has she been tested? Has she been put in positions where she had to overcome adversity, where she had to show that she can hang with the absolute best when everything is on the line? Or has she been protected, given opponents she was always going to beat, positioned as this unstoppable force without actually having to prove it against the women who've been carrying the division for years? Think about what Naomi has accomplished in her career. She's a former SmackDown Women's Champion. She had that incredible moment winning the title at Elimination Chamber in 2017. She's been in brutal matches, she's been in high-profile feuds, she's consistently delivered when given the opportunity. Naomi is one of the most athletic women on the entire WWE roster. Her offense is innovative, her entrance is iconic, and she connects with the crowd in a way that very few wrestlers can. When Naomi says she's fought the best, she's not exaggerating. She has fought the best, and she's proven she belongs in that conversation. Now compare that to Jade Cargill's WWE journey. Yes, she had an undefeated streak in AEW. Yes, she held the TBS championship for over 500 days. That's impressive on paper. But AEW and WWE are different levels of competition, different styles of wrestling, different expectations. Jade came to WWE with fanfare and immediately started getting pushed, but who has she actually beaten that makes her championship reign feel legitimate to someone like Naomi, who's been grinding in WWE for over a decade? Tiffany Stratton is talented, sure. She has potential. But is beating Tiffany Stratton enough to say you're the best woman on SmackDown? Naomi doesn't think so, and honestly, a lot of fans probably agree with her even if they're excited about Jade as champion. This is the fundamental tension that makes this potential feud so compelling. It's not just about two women wanting the championship. It's about validation, about proving who's really the best, about whether being athletically impressive is enough or if you need to have earned your spot through years of battles. Jade Cargill's response to Naomi's message is going to be crucial. If she responds with the typical "I'll prove myself in the ring" babyface response, that's fine, but it's not going to have the edge that this feud needs. If she fires back with her own brutal message questioning whether Naomi is even on her level anymore after time away, that would be interesting. That would create the kind of personal animosity that makes for great wrestling feuds. Because right now, Naomi threw the first punch verbally, and Jade needs to hit back hard or risk looking like she can't hang in a war of words with a veteran. The crowd is going to be split on this feud, and that's what makes it so perfect. You're going to have fans who love Naomi and want to see her reclaim her spot at the top of the division. You're going to have fans who are bought into the Jade Cargill hype and want to see her prove that she's the real deal by beating a veteran like Naomi. Both sides have legitimate arguments, and that's when wrestling is at its best, when you can understand and appreciate both perspectives even if you have a favorite. But here's what makes me furious about this whole situation. Once again, WWE is putting their women in a position where they have to fight for attention and respect instead of just giving them the platform they deserve from the start. Naomi shouldn't have to send brutal messages to get people talking about her return. Her return alone should be a big deal. She should be treated like the star she is, not like someone who has to prove herself all over again just because she took time away to have a baby. And Jade Cargill's championship win should have felt more momentous than it apparently did. If WWE had built up Jade properly, if they'd shown her overcoming real challenges and beating credible opponents on her way to the title, then Naomi's criticism wouldn't land as hard. But because WWE did protect Jade, because she hasn't faced the murderous row of opponents that someone like Naomi has faced, those questions about her legitimacy are valid. That's not Jade's fault, that's WWE's booking failing both of these women. The match between Naomi and Jade Cargill, when it happens, is going to be fascinating from a style perspective. Naomi is all flash and innovation, she hits moves that look incredible, she has incredible agility and creativity in the ring. Jade is all power and presence, she looks like she could break someone in half, and her strength-based offense is designed to dominate opponents. The clash of styles alone would make this interesting, but add in the personal animosity and the questions about legitimacy, and you have the recipe for a potential show stealer. Naomi's return comes at a perfect time for the women's division storyline-wise. The division needed a jolt, needed someone to come in and shake things up, needed someone who could credibly challenge Jade Cargill and make people question whether Jade is ready for the spot. Naomi is that person. She has the credibility, she has the skills, she has the hunger after being away. And she's clearly not interested in paying her dues all over again or waiting her turn. She's back and she wants what she thinks is rightfully hers, a championship and the recognition as the best woman on SmackDown. The brutal message Naomi sent also establishes her character going forward. This isn't the same Naomi who left. This is a woman who's been through one of life's biggest changes, who's had time to think about her career and what she wants to accomplish, who's decided that she's done being nice and playing politics. She's going to take what she wants. And if that means going through Jade Cargill and exposing her as not ready for the spot, then that's exactly what Naomi is going to do. That's compelling character work, and it makes Naomi feel dangerous in a way she hasn't felt in years. The women's division on SmackDown just got exponentially more interesting. You have Jade Cargill as champion trying to prove she belongs. You have Naomi back and hungry for gold. You have Tiffany Stratton who just lost the title but is clearly still a major player. You have other talented women like Bayley, Bianca Belair if she moves brands, Io Sky, and others who are all going to want their shots. The division is stacked, and having Naomi back adds another legitimate main event level talent to the mix. But the spotlight is clearly on this Naomi versus Jade Cargill dynamic right now, and WWE needs to capitalize on it. They need to give these women time to cut promos on each other. They need to build the tension over weeks. They need to make their eventual match feel like a huge deal, not just another title defense on a random SmackDown. This should be built to a premium live event, given proper time, and promoted as the clash it deserves to be: veteran versus rising star, proven commodity versus physical specimen, experience versus raw power. The question becomes, who wins when they finally face off? If Jade wins, it validates her championship reign and proves that she can beat the veterans when it counts. It establishes her as the real deal and silences critics like Naomi who question her legitimacy. but it also potentially hurts Naomi's momentum coming back if she takes a loss right away. If Naomi wins, it shows that experience and ring savvy can overcome physical advantages, and it gives Naomi the championship reign that many fans think she's deserved for years. But it also potentially derails Jade's push and makes WWE look foolish for putting the title on her if she loses it so quickly. This is where smart booking comes in. Maybe they have multiple matches. Maybe Jade wins the first one through some questionable means, which leads to Naomi getting more fired up and more determined. Maybe Naomi wins the title eventually, but Jade looks strong in defeat, setting up a rematch down the line. There are ways to book this where both women come out looking like stars, but it requires WWE to actually think long-term and tell a complete story rather than just thinking about the next pay-per-view. Naomi's message also raises interesting questions about the locker room dynamics. Are other veterans looking at Jade Cargill's push with skepticism? Is Naomi speaking for others who feel like Jade hasn't earned this spot? Or is Naomi alone in her criticism and other women in the locker room respect what Jade has accomplished? These layers could be explored in the storytelling to make this feel even more real and personal. The timing of Naomi's return and this message is perfect for WWE's need to create buzz and headlines. Wrestling fans are talking about this. Social media is debating who's right. People are picking sides. That's exactly what WWE wants: engagement, discussion, passion. Whether you agree with Naomi's brutal assessment of Jade Cargill or you think she's disrespecting a talented new champion, you have an opinion. And that opinion is going to make you want to watch SmackDown to see what happens next. So here's what I need from all of you in the Wrestling News CC community. Do you think Naomi is right to question Jade Cargill's legitimacy as champion? Has Jade been protected and given an easier path than veterans like Naomi had to take? Or is Naomi just bitter that someone came in and accomplished something that took Naomi years to achieve? Who do you think should win when these two finally face off? And what do you think Jade Cargill needs to do to prove she's worthy of being the top woman on SmackDown? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this is about to be the women's division storyline that everyone's watching. Hit that like button if you're excited to see Naomi back and stirring things up. Subscribe to Wrestling News CC because we're going to be covering every development in this Naomi vs. Jade saga as it unfolds. Share this video with other WWE fans who need to understand what Naomi's brutal message means for the future of SmackDown's women's division. This isn't just about a championship. This is about legacy. This is about proving who's the best. This is about a veteran with nothing left to prove except that she still belongs at the top, facing off against a physical specimen who has everything to prove about whether she's more than just an impressive physique. Naomi just declared war on Jade Cargill, and the fallout is going to define the women's division for the rest of the year. Welcome back, Naomi. Things are about to get very interesting on SmackDown.